The 5 best fighters under 30. We take a look at some of the best athletes on the UFC list under 30, and we separate 5 here that you can check out now. There are over 225 fighters on the UFC roster under the age of 30, but we've separated the 5 that in our opinion are the best and have the brightest future ahead of them. We start with Brandon Moreno. Someday someone will make a movie about Brandon Moreno. The 29-year-old flyweight champion has faced a lot of setbacks in his MMA career, such as losing on The Ultimate Fighter and being dropped from the UFC in 2018. But he has bounced back in style and shown incredible improvements in his game. En route to an epic title tie with Jhonson Figueiredo at UFC 256. This created Moreno's wild rivalry with Figueiredo, as the two flyweights would go on to fight 4 times for a UFC record. Moreno put an exclamation point on his 2 victories over Figueiredo, submitting him at UFC 263 and dominating the Brazilian at UFC 283. That settled the score, with Moreno taking home 2-1-1 bragging rights and the UFC flyweight belt. Second place is Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev rose to stardom since making his UFC debut in the summer of 2020. Chimaev quickly established himself as one of the most dominant fighters in the UFC. He broke the UFC record for fastest comeback wins in the modern era in his first 2 UFC fights, and has since beaten highly respected opponents such as Gerald Meerschaert, Li Jingyang, Gilbert Burns, and Kevin Holland. Aside from his 2022 Fight of the Year loss to Burns, the 28-year-old has been nearly untouchable. It will be interesting to see what Chimaev's next fight is when it comes to who the opponent is and what weight class he will be in. Third place is Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley proved the skeptics wrong. His split decision victory over Petr Yan made it abundantly clear that he can not only keep, but defeat, the cream of the bantamweight division. O'Malley has become one of the sport's biggest stars, combining his creative persona with his dynamic fighting style. O'Malley, 28, is 7-1-1 in the UFC and likely earned the chance to fight Aljamain Sterling whenever the champion is healthy. Fourth place is Arnaldo Allen. There's no denying Arnold Allen anymore. Arnold's rousing victory over Dan Hooker and his tough victory over Sadiq Yusuff helped him climb the rankings for what looks to be a big campaign in 2023. The 29-year-old Englishman is 10-0 in the UFC and on a 12-fight winning streak overall. While Almighty's latest win came after an unfortunate knee injury to Calvin Kattar, it's been clear for some time that Arnold is a true featherweight title contender. And finally, we have Taila Santos. Last summer, Taila Santos nearly pulled off one of the most shocking upsets in UFC history. The 29-year-old Brazilian nearly defeated Valentina Shevchenko to become the flyweight champion. This performance showed that Santos should not only be considered one of the best in the category, but also a real threat to whoever holds the belt. What do you think of these 5 fighters under 30? Leave your opinion below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until the next video.